and gentlemen, welcome to the induction ceremony of the 2021 class of the Fiba Hall of Fame from the Patrick Baumann House of Basketball here in Mies, Switzerland. Now please welcome your host for today, the voice of basketball in France, Mr. Georges Eddy.
Hello, bonjour, good evening, good morning. My name is George Eddy, and I am your host for this exciting ceremony. I have the privilege to help honor this impressive class of inductees. We regret that the current travel restrictions do not allow us to all be gathered at the Patrick Baumann House of Basketball, but we are very happy that we could at least gather virtually for this ceremony. We thank you for being with us and joining us from 8 different time zones, some of you at very early or late hours. Thank you so much. I would like to welcome you personally one by one. Mr. Ettore Messina from Italy. Mr. Detlef Schrempf from Germany. The daughter of the late Chuck Daly, Ms. Sydney Daly from the USA. Mr. Mathieu Faye from Senegal. Ms. Hanna Horakova from the Czech Republic. Mr. Stanislav Kropilak from the Slovak Republic. Mr. Tom Maher from Australia. The son of the late Oscar Molia from Argentina, Mr. Oscar Molia. The daughter of late Penka Stoyanova from Bulgaria, Ms. Teodora Boneva. Mr. Sergey Tarakonov from Russia. Mr. Panagiotis Yannikis from Greece. And Ms. Haisha Sheng from China. It's great to have you all with us. Let's celebrate together the induction ceremony of the FIBA Hall of Fame, a place to pay tribute to those who played key roles in shaping the history of international basketball from its creation up to its popularity of today. Before we honor you, the great players and coaches of this class, please welcome from the Patrick Baumann House of Basketball, the president of FIBA, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Haman Nyang from Mali, with his welcoming words.
Dear basketball legends and stars of our sport, dear members of the 2021 Hall of Fame class, dear friends, a warm welcome to you all from this wonderful House of Basketball, which has been named after our late Secretary General, Patrick Baumann. In a few moments, you will be inducted into the FIBA Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is dedicated to individuals who played a key role in writing the history of international basketball from its inception to its current glory. We thus honor the men and women who have made basketball history during their international careers. This class of 2021 comprises 12 individuals from 12 countries and 6 continents. You are all legends in your home country, and you have inspired generations of young people to play basketball and to follow in your footsteps. Through your devotion and passion, you have all contributed greatly to the growth of basketball in your country and around the world. Although the ceremony is virtual only, the honor you will receive today is the highest a FIBA can bestow on players and coaches, and you all fully deserve it. I want to congratulate you from the bottom of my heart. Stay in touch with our game, and I hope to see you soon somewhere on the courts of the world. Thank you again for your great contribution to the game of basketball.
Thank you, Mr. President. Without further delay, we would like to proceed with our first inductee. His coaching career started at a very young age in 1978 as a youth coach of Real Venezia and took him all the way to coaching his home country, Italy, in 1993, and the San Antonio Spurs as an assistant coach. His list of achievements and awards is so long that we struggled to even put a representative selection into his video introduction. Let's have a look. That is an impressive coaching career. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the great Ettore Messina from Italy. And now is the moment for the enshrinement of our first inductee. This will be done by the highest authorities of Fiba, Fiba President Haman Yang and Fiba Secretary General Andreas Zaglis. They will present the Fiba Hall of Fame trophy. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Mr. Ettore Messina as a coach into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations, Mr. Messina. Let's listen to your acceptance speech, please.
Good evening, Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General of FIBA. I'm really thankful to FIBA for this incredible honor that has been reserved to me, and to the Italian Basketball Federation and its president, Mr. Petrucci, for supporting my candidacy. I want to express my humble feelings about being part of such a great class of inductees. I warmly congratulate every one of them with great respect. There is, of course, a long list of people that I want to thank today, and without them, I know that I wouldn't be here. First, I'd like to start with the coach who, when I was a really young and average player, instilled in me with his daily example, the passion for the game and for the role of the coach. And I'm really thankful to Coach Renato Vianello from the deep of my heart. Then I want to thank all the head coaches that I worked for during my entire career, starting with Coach Tonino Zorzi, who in Venice, after I missed the decisive free throws to win a regional title with the Reyer Venice young team, the day after told me that in his opinion, I had no chance whatsoever to become a good player. But for whatever reason, he had seen me in the gym with the young kids of our mini basket team, working with them. And he told me in that same moment that in his opinion, I could become a good coach one day, and offered me the opportunity to start very young. As a matter of fact, I was only 17, and in that summer, I started coaching a team of under 14 kids, and one of the players was my brother. I can't even imagine what I've been without Coach Zorzi. And then my gratitude goes to the late Coach Massimo Mangano, Alberto Bucci, and Krasimir Čosić. I had the opportunity to work in my career with the legendary Sandro Gamba, with Bob Hill, with Mike Brown, and of course, last but least, with the coach Greg Popovich of the San Antonio Spurs. They all gave me a chance. They helped me to become a better person and hopefully a better coach, teaching me whatever they had in their pocket. The key for any career is to get an opportunity. It doesn't matter how good you are if nobody gives you a chance to prove it. And that's why I'm deeply grateful to all the owners, the presidents, the general managers who decided to give me that opportunity that sometimes, being me so young, probably I would have not given me to myself. Coach Asa Nikolic, the great coach Asa Nikolic, used to say that the players, with their talent and their effort, make a good coach. I had the fortune and the privilege to coach players who, most of the time, had incredible patience to work with me, allowing me to coach them and at the same time be myself, using my strength and my weaknesses. There are for sure some players that I was not able to coach and help to grow as I would have loved and liked, and I am really sorry for that. The philosopher Erasmus from Rotterdam wrote that the base of the teaching is the love for your disciples. Not always I've been able to follow his words, honestly, because of my immaturity or the inability sometimes to control my emotions. I wish I could have been better in some situation, and I'm still trying to get better, at least in these final days of my career. There's been a lot of persons that in different capacities have worked with me and helped me tremendously. On the top of that list, there are all the assistant coaches that I had the privilege to work with. The job of an assistant coach is a very hard job. All my assistants work with competence, passion, and desire to help me and the team. And they never had any jealousy when I was the one receiving most of the praises after a win. I am happy to share this incredible honor with my family, my mom, my daughter Lucia, my son Filippo, and my late father, my late brother, and my late sister. I miss them a lot. They are in my heart every single day, especially today. Laura, my wife, just a few words. You are the most important person of my life. Simple like that. Nothing less, nothing more. I've been fortunate to meet you. Your love, empathy, and care for other people have shown me the way every day. Finally, I'm humbly thanking the game of basketball. Basketball helped me to grow, to enjoy experiences that I could have never dreamed when I was a child. I've traveled a lot, I've met great people, competed against the best, and learned a lot from wins and losses. Many years ago, I had a chance to listen to a speech from the late Mr. Robert Busnel, a former great player, great coach, and as you well know, a former president of FIBA. And I'll always remember through all these days his message. The message was that in this message that stands the essence of the relationship between the game and the life of the coach. He said that the tactics are for a day. The techniques and the fundamentals are for life. And I've always tried to follow Mr. Busnell's principles, and I strongly believe that at any level, this should be the mission of the coach. Help your players to get better every single day. Being here today is a great motivation and a responsibility to keep honoring this game, this wonderful game, in the best possible way for the remaining years of my career. I really thank you all from the bottom of my heart for this incredible day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Messina, for those passionate words. Coming from a country where football dominates all other sports, it was quite remarkable for a kid playing for a youth team in Leverkusen, Germany, to be offered a scholarship for a high school and later for a college in Washington State. He became the first superstar of his country, paving the way for many great compatriots playing in the NBA today. He played against greats like Michael Jordan at the 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles and the Dream Team in 1992. Here's a lot more. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Mr. Detlef Schrempf from Germany. Mr. President, the floor is yours to present Detlef Schrempf with his trophy.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Mr. Detlef Schrempf as a player into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations again, Mr. Schrempf. The microphone is open for your acceptance speech.
Well, thank you so much for the kind introduction, and thank you to FIBA Basketball and to the FIBA Hall of Fame for this wonderful honor. First of all, I want to congratulate all the other inductees for this distinction. What an amazing class to be part of. Some people I played against, some I coached against the teams I played for. So I'm very honored to be part of this class. Thinking back, I mean, who would have thought that, a skinny, insecure teenager from Leverkusen, would turn out to have a career in basketball, a sport most people in Germany did not know back in the late 70s. It's all about soccer, Fußball. I remember quitting soccer to join TuS 04 Bayer Leverkusen to play basketball, and everyone was telling me that was a waste of time. My parents didn't even know what basketball was. They never even seen it. But there at TuS 04, I found my first true love, basketball. The best game there is, the best game there is. I fell in love with it. I was hooked right from the start. I loved everything about it. I loved, learning something new every day, the challenges, the hard work, the ups and downs, and maybe most of all, the camaraderie. For the first time, I felt like I belonged. I was respected for what I could do, and I couldn't get enough of it. So after a couple of years, I explored how I could get the most out of my talent by going to the United States and as an exchange student, hoping to improve more and come back to Germany and then play for my hometown. I was fortunate enough that I was part of some great programs along the way that helped me have a long career in the NBA. So I want to thank a lot of people, and I'm probably going to miss some, but the people that really made it possible for me, and starting out with my parents, Berthold and Doris Schrempf, who allowed me to do my own thing and chase my own dreams. And I know it wasn't easy for them when I left as a young adult, a young teenager, but they supported me throughout, even though they probably did not even understand what I was doing. I would not be here today. I would not be where I am today with my first youth coach and my teammates. Otto Reinches was the reason I got hooked on basketball. He was the first mentor, not just for basketball, but for life. He helped turn a struggling, awkward teenager into a more confident young man. And being part of his teams was impactful. We had a great culture, loved to compete together. And even as 15, 16-year-olds, we even had the occasional beer together. I want to thank Otto and all my teammates from Germany. My high school experience in the US was eye-opening. Playing for Centralia High School and winning the state championship in sold-out high school arenas, 1,500 people hanging on the rafters and stacked on top of each other screaming. Coach Ron Brown ran the program for 52 years and is a true legend in the coaching world. Then my college coach, Marv Harshman, is in the Hall of Fame and coached college basketball for over 40 years. These three coaches that had such a huge impact on me taught basketball in a very similar way, focusing on fundamentals and team play and culture, which provided me a great foundation for a long career in the NBA. I'm so grateful for all the experiences, from playing as a teenager in Germany, to playing in the NBA, to playing in the Olympics. I want to thank all my coaches, and especially all my teammates who made this the best ride anyone can imagine. There are too many to mention by name, but I was part of some very, very good teams that had a great time. I also want to thank all the people behind the scenes that oftentimes do not get mentioned, that make it all work. The teachers and tutors, the trainers and equipment managers, marketing, community, and media departments, all the people who helped us all be successful and work mostly in the background. They are really the glue to it all. And of course, all the fans. Playing in front of tens of thousands all the time, every night, cheering you on and oftentimes booing you is something incredible. What an experience. And I want to thank them all for their support. Basketball is a team sport, and life is the same. And I would not ever have made it without my wife, Mary, who sacrificed so much to allow me to shine. And she stood behind me, besides me, in front of me, and I want to thank her for that. And to my boys, Alex and Michael, who made the last few years of NBA life so enjoyable. To be able to share that with your sons is incredible. So thank you. And thank you to basketball. Basketball is not who I am, but it helped me become the man I am. So thank you again for this great honor, and be well.
Thank you, Mr. Schrempf, for proving that basketball is definitely not a waste of time. Our next inductee is a global coaching legend. When people hear his name, many remember the coach for his stylish attire and his success at the helm of the Pistons and the USA Dream Team at the 1992 Olympics. Yet his coaching career began long before, in 1955, at Punxsutawney Area High School in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Let's have a look at that. Wow, what an exceptional life. Now, please welcome Mr. Daly's daughter, Ms. Sydney Daly, from the USA, representing her father. Mr. President, please present this magnificent trophy.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Mr. Chuck Daly posthumously as a coach into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. Daly, please take the floor for the acceptance speech on behalf of your father.
First and foremost, I would like to thank FIBA for this incredible honor bestowed upon my father, Chuck Daly. I would also like to congratulate all of the other inductees on their accomplishments. Being a coach's daughter made for an exciting childhood filled with amazing memories. Since I am an only child, I was also fortunate in that my parents included me on many adventures. My father would hold basketball camps in Europe, usually in Italy, every summer. And my mother and I would join him for that week of camp. And then as a family, we would travel and explore Europe. I always got a kick out of it when we would be in these other countries and my father would be recognized. He would say, I was just a kid from a small town in Pennsylvania. How do they even know who I am? If we thought that was a thrill to have a few people stop him on the streets in London or in Rome, we were completely unprepared for what the future had in store for him. Fast forward to 1992 and the Olympics in Barcelona. The excitement and emotions that greeted the dream team were unparalleled. My father would say it was like traveling with 12 rock stars. It didn't matter what country a fan was from or what team they were rooting for. They all loved the dream team. My father would describe it as beyond. Lifetime memories that could never be duplicated were made in those weeks. I would like to thank the international basketball community, the fans, the teams, the different organizations, for always treating my father with such respect, enthusiasm, and appreciation. You made him feel welcome and accepted. And for that, I am truly grateful. On behalf of myself and my family, thank you for this honor and for the recognition of my father's accomplishments in his career.
Thank you, Ms. Daly, for telling us those wonderful stories. When one thinks about the long and rich history of African and Senegalese basketball, his name always comes to mind first. A hardworking guard from Dakar, he ensured his name would never be forgotten as he was a leading player on the Lions team that won the Fiba Afrobasket in both 1978 and 1980. But that was not all. And here is Mathieu Faye from Senegal. Mr. President, please present Mr. Faye with his FIBA Hall of Fame trophy.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Mr. Mathieu Faye as a player into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Faye, the floor is yours for your acceptance speech.
Thank you. Mr. President of FIBA, Andres Saglis, Secretary General of FIBA, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin by borrowing this beautiful quote from the great Brazilian novelist, Paulo Coelho, to translate all the emotion that I feel following the honorary distinction that you have kindly decided to bestow upon me. I quote, "There are moments in the life of a man when our deepest feelings are expressed only by tears. They shouldn't be held back as they come from the heart and not from pride." End of quote. Yes, the emotion is so great that this distinction not only comes at a time when it was least expected, but also because the small circle of those inducted into the FIBA Hall of Fame is populated by a tiny number of big names in world basketball, whether they are leaders, officials, or players. However, distinction, although immense, is received with great humility, especially since basketball is a collective discipline and our individual performances depend on the immeasurable contribution of our teammates. It is also my duty to pay a great tribute to some of the leaders of our sport. It is thanks to their coaching and the precious advice they shared with both the elite players as well as those who are still starting out that I can stand here before you with pride at this great moment of world basketball. I'd like to mention some like Mamadou Sow, who guided my first players at the Jeanne d'Arc of Dakar, and the illustrious and sorely missed Ousnel Diagne, Bonaventure Carvalho, Alioune Diop, Claude Constantino, and Larry Diouf. It would be amiss of me if I didn't pay tribute to my teammates. Oumar Dia Adidas too, the only player with whom we achieved the feat of never having lost a single official match in Africa, but also my former teammates. Let me mention Joseph Lopez, Sarinder, Pouifai, Emi Tupan, Papa Moussa Touré, Ambroise Dog, Badian Yan, and Abdou Ndiaye, to name but a few of the players at the African level. These tributes also go to my teammates of Limoges, amongst others, Richard Dacoury, Apollo Faye, Edouard Murphy, and the coach, the late André Bouffier, with whom we won a French championship, the French Cup, and the European Cup, the Corach Cup. It is undoubtedly these moments of glory that have earned me this honorary distinction by the supreme body of world basketball, FIBA. It is African basketball in general and Senegalese basketball in particular, represented by your humble servant, which is thus recognized, distinguished, and honored. I'd also like to share the recognition I'm about to receive with some of the basketball greats of the time, including Abdoulaye Sey-Moreau, former president of FIBA, one of my predecessors in the FIBA Hall of Fame, but also with the state of Senegal and all the ministers of sport and all the leaders who succeeded one another at the head of the Senegalese Federation of Basketball. Finally, I'd like to round off my talk by expressing my sincere thanks to you today. This high distinction confirms me in my conviction that I have chosen the right path and gives me even more courage to continue down the road that lies ahead, both in my professional and personal life. Once again, many thanks to FIBA. And I'd just also like to finish off by congratulating all my colleagues who have been inducted in the Hall of Fame today with me. Thank you very much. Thank you once again.
Congratulations, Mathieu. It was great to have been your teammate in Paris.
Yes, that's right, George. I forget to mention it. We used to play together, and we have a wonderful time and wonderful moment back in Paris with the Racing Club de Paris.
So true.
Thank you very much, George.
Okay, thank you, Mathieu. Our next inductee was the driving force behind her nation's finest hour when they were crowned FIBA Women's Eurobasket champions for the first time in 2005. They beat the favorites Russia 72-70 in one of the all-time classic finals. The guard led her team in both assists and steals during this tournament. Here is more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Hanna Horakova from the Czech Republic.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Gentlemen, please present this remarkable trophy.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Ms. Hanna Horakova as a player into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Congratulations again, Ms. Horakova. The floor is yours for your acceptance speech.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express my honor to be here today, surrounded by you, all the excellent players and coaches. Knowing how many great players are here in Europe, and I really appreciate to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. At the age of 8, I started playing basketball in my small town, Bruntal, as it was the only collective sport at the time, dreaming about the big competitions and Olympic Games very soon. I fell in love with this sport, and since then basketball has always had place in my heart. I would love to thank my family, especially my parents, who are always here for me to support and help me. Many thanks to my coaches who led me from my first basketball step and taught me everything about basketball that I know today. I'm really happy that I know in person so many great players that I have played against or with them, and I'm very proud to have them still present in my life after finishing my professional career. And last but not least, our supporters for being here, pushing us to be better and making my journey enjoyable and fun. Right now, our lives are still not the same, but I believe that we are very close to get our lives back and again to have sports hall and stadiums full of fans and enjoy every match. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Horakova. If there was a towering figure in his country that was automatically selected to the national team, it was our next inductee. Standing 2 meters 8, the power forward center was ever present at FIBA Eurobaskets, appearing at the event 7 consecutive times from 1975 to 1987. Let's watch the video. What a great career. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Stanislav Kropilak from the Slovak Republic. He will now be awarded the FIBA Hall of Fame trophy by the FIBA president.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Mr. Stanislav Kropilak as a player into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations again, Mr. Kropilak. The microphone is open for your acceptance speech now.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very glad and happy that I received the honor of being inducted into the Hall of Fame as the first basketball player from Slovakia. I spent almost all of my life connected with the most basketball. And therefore, I have to thank many, many people without whom I would never have received such an honor. First of all, I would like to thank my parents very much, who led me to the sport since I was a little kid and always stood by me. Thank you very much to all my teammates, coaches, and team staff, without whom I would be impossible to receive such an honor. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the others who helped me throughout my sport career, and especially the doctors who helped me many, many times with my frequent injuries. I'm honored to be inducted in the Hall of Fame with great basketball personalities, and especially with those I have met at various international events and with whom I shared nice memories in European selection teams. I'm so sorry that I can't meet the other laureates of the Hall of Fame and spend pleasant moments together because of COVID situation. I would also like to thank all the clubs in which I played throughout my career in Czechoslovakia and later in Belgium and Luxembourg. Many thanks to the national team of Czechoslovakia, with which I played all the biggest international basketball events. Sorry. I also want to thank Fiba for nominating me several times in the European selection, where I could play with the best European players. And the biggest thanks I kept for last. I would like to thank my first professional club, Inter Bratislava, where I spent a fantastic, a beautiful 11 years as the player and 25 years as a manager, and later as president of the club. Thank you very much and cordially greet all you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kropilak. There are not many coaches that coach women's national teams from 4 different countries at 6 different Olympics. Our next inductee is such an exception. It all started within his home country, Australia, when he first coached the Opals in 1993, and at the Fiba Women's World Cup the following year. Let's take a look. You know the story. Wherever he goes, he wins titles. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Coach Tom Maher from Australia. Mr. President, the floor is yours to present the Hall of Fame trophy.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Mr. Tom Maher as a coach into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations again, Coach Maher. The microphone is open for your acceptance speech.
Thanks very much. I keep pinching myself to make sure I'm awake and that I'm not dreaming. I'll tell you a little secret. After the 6th Olympic Games, I had a thought. I indulged myself by thinking, I wonder if that'd be enough to get a nomination for the FIBA Hall of Fame. I didn't say it out loud, but I did think it. And when Florian rang me and told me I was being inducted, my natural reaction was, I can't believe it. But then he queried, he said, with your record? So I thought, well, you were right. I did think about it. And now I'm here and enjoying what everybody else is enjoying. When informed I needed to make a little presentation, I thought, well, what will I talk about? Well, since I'm getting the honour of being inducted, I thought I'd talk about myself. So I will. When my father, he was a labourer and a bus driver, and my mother was the laundry lady across the road where we lived. So I wasn't going to any fancy private school. No, when I left college, well, I left high school, there was no thought of college. Nobody had ever been to college from our family ever. And so I just travelled around Australia with a mate for 3 or 4 years. And when I got back, I got lucky. The first thing that happened to me was that because I'd travelled and left home and been around, I'd matured enough to a level where I could actually get something out of doing a college degree. So that was the first stroke of luck. The second stroke of luck was in those days in Australia, it was college education was free. Now, I could never have even started college if that wasn't the case. So I'm very grateful for that legislation. That was a great piece of luck. Thirdly, when I started college, I'd already been coaching. I knew I wanted to coach. And so anything that come along related to coaching, I just gobbled that up, and anything else, I just daydreamed like a normal college student. Okay. When I graduated, there was a fantastic new invention in the world. It was called VHS, a video system. And what a fantastic learning and teaching tool that was. And the coaches that went before me didn't have that luxury. And retrospectively, another big thing for me was that the Women's National League in Australia started in 1981. And coincidentally, that was my first year as head coach. But the girls in those days, they didn't play overseas and they didn't play in a state. They just played in the one league. So we had the luxury of 3 months of pre-season. So in all that time, you had all that time together where you could learn and work on fundamentals and learn how to teach the game. And I think I grew over those years to a great amount because it was an opportunity to teach. Okay, I've had a blessed life. I married my best friend. It's no secret that I married the best player in Australia. And if I could give a young coach some advice, I'd say marry the best player in your country because it really makes recruiting easier. I've coached some wonderful, wonderful players, amazing talents from all over the world. I got to yell at them. I got to coach them. I got to have a drink with them now and again. And it was a wonderful experience. I also got to meet some remarkable leaders like Mr. Lee from China and Chris Spice from Great Britain. And I go back to the players again. There's just too many to name, but I'm in awe of them. But make no mistake, it was Robin Marr and Michelle Timms that made the most of my career. And through it all, my children, Jake and Stevie, they travelled from country to country and shifted from school to school and accepted it like it was a normal life. They had to say goodbye to many friends, but that was our way, that was our life. Okay. National teams, I'd like to address FIBA for a second. National teams don't hire foreign coaches without really checking things out. So I'm aware that national teams approach FIBA and ask for some sort of reference. And I'm aware that some FIBA personnel made very positive remarks about me. So whoever that was, I'm grateful because I got a couple of jobs from that. I also want to make mention now of all the other inductees. I'm sure you're feeling very excited and a bit special. So, you know, so you should. Congratulations, you've all had magnificent careers. And I'd like to finish with saying that how sincere and humble I feel about this great honor. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Maurer. You prove that great things can come from modest beginnings. Our next inductee was a hero of the second edition of the FIBA World Cup, played in 1954, where he became the leading scorer of the tournament and was selected to the all-tournament team. He passed away too early in 1989 at age 54, but he left his mark on Uruguayan basketball, which later became a powerhouse of South American basketball. More in this video. Amazing images from a fabulous career. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have with us the son of Mr. Oscar Molia, who followed the footsteps of his father and became a player as well. Gentlemen, please present the FIBA Hall of Fame trophy.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Mr. Oscar Molia posthumously as a player into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
This is your moment now for the acceptance speech, please.
Good afternoon. On behalf of my father's memory and my family, I want to thank very much the FIBA authorities, President Hamanyang, Secretary General Andrea Zaglis, and all the members of the staff for this very important acknowledgement of my father, which is a cause of emotion, honor, and pride for all of us. This is a historic moment for Uruguayan basketball. Our country has only 3 million inhabitants, but we have a great tradition in basketball, in which we have historically garnered considerable successes. Basketball is in our family's blood. My father gave his life to this sport. He practiced it with great passion, and it was handed down from one generation to the next. Over 3 generations, we've had the honor of defending our national team. Basketball is a team sport, so on this moving occasion, I want to acknowledge and thank each of the coaches and teammates who were so important throughout my father's career, culminating in today's event to induct him into the FIBA Hall of Fame. I want to salute and to congratulate each of the inductees to the Hall of Fame at this time. It's a source of great pride for me to share this ceremony with you all. And once again, I want to thank FIBA authorities for working every day along with the Uruguayan Basketball Authority, to make ours the most exciting sport in the world. A warm hug to you all and to the memory of my father. Good health to you all.
Muchas gracias, Mr. Moglia. Standing 1.85 meters, the center from Karlova, Bulgaria, played no less than 8 Eurobaskets for her country. She was the engine and driving force of Bulgarian success in international women's basketball from 1978 to 1981. She passed away 2 years ago, but she will never be forgotten as a player who always left her heart on the court for the pride of her country. Today, representing her mother, Penka Stoyanova from Bulgaria, is Miss Teodora Boneva.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Mr. President, please take the floor to present the trophy.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Miss Penka Stoyanova posthumously as a player into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. Boneva, the floor is yours for the acceptance speech on behalf of your mother.
Thank you so much for this enormous appreciation and reward in regards to my mother, Penka Stoyanova. For me, it's a huge honor that she has been chosen post-mortem as a member of class 2021 as a player of FIBA's Hall. I would say that this reward is not only for her and her family, as well as for the whole Bulgarian and Bulgarian basketball. She was an amazing sportsman, astonishing person, friend, coach, and mother. She dedicated her life to her favorite game, basketball, and until the end, she helped Bulgarian basketball to develop. Her childhood dream came true, like she wrote in her autobiography book, The Queen of the Basketball, to become a great basketball player, to take a part in the national team, and to glorify the homeland. If she was here today, she would have said that throughout all these years in which basketball changed as a game in regards to the basketball rules that always change, only one thing never changed, that the ball must go through the ring. She used to say that basketball is collective and dynamic game, that you have to invest your whole heart, and also you need to overcome first yourself before to overcome the opponent. Thanks for the coaches and her teammates, without whom she wouldn't be able to success by herself. And also in sports and life, you can't imitate someone else. You have to play yourself. Once again, thank you. And at the end, I want to congratulate all these people today.
Thank you, Ms. Boneva, for these wonderful words about your mother. The Soviet Union was dominating European basketball in the 70s and 80s. Our next inductee was an integral part of that success story. The 2'3" power forward from Lodinoy Pol in Russia also left his mark at the FIBA World Cup and the Olympics. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Sergey Tarakonov from Russia. Gentlemen, please award Mr. Tarakonov his trophy.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Mr. Sergey Tarakonov as a player into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Tarakonov. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Dear basketball friends, it's extremely important and emotional day for me I grew up in Krasnoyarsk city in Siberia, where basketball was not real popular, but I was so lucky to be in love with our game since age of 14. In my youth, I just wanted to play and play ball and never thought about to become a professional player. Time is passing so fast, and now it's hard to imagine that I was running on the court in funny tight uniform. Funny from now, from this time, of course. But basketball is still an important part of my life. Game has presented me huge numbers of memorable moments, friends all over the world, popularity and passion. Yes, passion is a key. I'm so happy and lucky man because of basketball. I played more than 400 games in USSR national team jersey and played more than 100 official games in international competitions such like Eurobasket, like Mundial and Olympic Games. And I'm still remember most of these games and most of my mistakes during these games. Want to say thanks to all clubs I played for: Spartak Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, CSKA, most of my career, clubs in Germany and Belgium, to all my teammates I played with, all coaches I was working with, all opponents I played against, my friends, and of course, my family. And separately, would like to thank Fiba family to put me in the same line with great players from all over the world. It's a big honor and gives me more energy to work for popularity of our game. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your passion, Mr. Tarakonov. The signs all pointed to greatness for our next inductee, who at just 13 years of age was already practicing with the men's team of Ionikos Nikeas, and at 14 was playing in games. Later, he was ushered into the Greece senior team at 17, learned from teammates, coaches, and even opponents, and became one of the greatest leaders, something that helped him not only on the court as a playmaking guard, but later in life, too, as a venerable coach. Here's the video. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Panagiotis Yanakis from Greece. Mr. President, the floor is yours for the enshrinement ceremony.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Mr. Panagiotis Yanakis as a player into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations again to Mr. Yanakis. The microphone is open for your accepted speech, please.
Thank you. Good evening to everyone. Congratulations to everyone. What a class. At this very moment that I'm here being honored with the highest honor to be inducted in the FIBA Basketball Hall of Fame, I feel young again. I'm taken back to a time that I am 11 years old again, and I'm wearing my shorts, and I'm living in secret from my childhood home in Nikia, hearing my mother calling after me, naughty, naughty, as he used to call me, looking for me everywhere. Once he used to eventually find me playing in the sadlot, I would not be able to avoid her scolding. And just like that, I fell in love with the game of basketball. I would watch the older children play in the neighborhood just down the street from my home, and I felt envy. It started with me and a friend, Yorgos, buying a cheap ball and made a basket out of my mother's flower pots. Eventually, we would break something in the yard and she would chase me around. When I signed up to Ionikos Nikias in 1971, I was lucky to be in the capable hands of my first coach, Viron Kritharis, who became my mentor and second father. The people at the Ionikos gave me a 20 drachma to take photos for my athlete's card, and the consent of my mother, I signed it myself in secret because my father would not want me to play. In this childhood mischief, my journey to the moon began. A child who lived the dream. This journey gave me the opportunity to meet great people that opened my horizons, took me across the world, made amazing friends, and for this, I'm grateful. This is how I have always viewed it is a child without exaggeration, a journey to the moon, a journey so wonderful, so unexpected, so exciting, so extraordinary. A wonderful poem of Konstantinos Kavathis says that what is important is a journey to Ithaca and not the destination. To me, they hold the same importance, and I feel blessed to have achieved both. Or better yet, we all achieve them together, my teammates, my coaches, my opponents, who all helped me improve. Also, my players who stood behind me, my family who support me, Evgenia, my wife, my daughter and son, Kelly and Dimitris. I love them so much. And of course, my friends. I have been inside the basketball court holding the orange basketball half a century now. And on the anniversary of my 50th jubilee, that happens to align with the honor of my induction to the Fiba Basketball Hall of Fame. At this moment, in front of me, I can see my basketball memories pass by me like an old black and white film. Moments that I have lived are one of a kind and immeasurable, permanent in my memories. I carry them like my life's arc, not just a memorabilia, but as a treasure, like a nectar that I was blessed to drink from Ionikos Nikias, Aris BC, the team that changed basketball in Greece, Panionios BC, Panathinaikos BC, and my beloved national team of Greece. Then as a coach in Panionios Marousi, Olympiakos Limos, Aris, the national team of China, and of course, the Greek national team. Also, as a member of selection of the European team, and in the verge of playing in the NBA. The sound of the ball dribbling is a music to me. The victories, melodic notes. The defeats, balance. The emotions, I share with my colleagues, the completion. I often say that inside every person there is a little guy, a little mischief that tells you to do everything you should not prepare for school, to not train hard, to leave something for tomorrow, to do one less push-up. This little voice in your head is your biggest opponent. And I feel very happy that I was able to avoid all its best tactics against me and avoid the traps and never be disqualified with 5 fouls. From 1971 to 2021, 50 years, a lifetime. Then a young and wild boy, today a proud grandfather of Philippos and Danai. Then and now, one thing remains to say, my love for basketball. I want to thank you for this honor that is granted to me today, and it consists of another commitment for me to continue to remain standing and fighting to guard my thermopylae, basketball. Let's not forget to stay safe and wear your mask. We need you all. And at the end, I want to thank all the Greek fans, which they gave us a lot of love around the world and in Greece for sure. Good night and thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Yannikis, for having always been friendly with the media throughout your whole career. Standing 2 meters 3, the center, born in the small village of Shangqiu in the north of China, was soon dominating the boards in international women's basketball. Already at age 16, she put on the red uniform with her country name on the chest to win a medal at the FIBA Women's World Cup, and she continued to do so until she was forced by an injury to finish her career 15 years later. Let's watch the video. What a career. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Haixia Sheng from China. Gentlemen, please present the last inductee of the 2021 class with her trophy.
FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, is honored to induct Ms. Haixia Sheng as a player into the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations again, Ms. Sheng. We look forward to hearing your acceptance speech.
大家好，我是来自中国的篮球运动员郑海霞。那是1983年，16岁的我，一个来自中国河南省贫困农村的孩子，有机会穿上了那件红色的篮球队服。因为篮球，因为那件印着中国的红色队服，我的一生被改变了。父母要抚养5个子女，也为我承受了太多的艰辛。起码，他们从此不用再担心我会被挨饿。这并不是童话，而是在真实的世界里。一个对自己的未来充满疑惑的女孩，终于看到了生活的希望，终于知道自己也可以有梦想，也可以用自己的天赋和努力去实现梦想，去帮助自己的家人摆脱贫困。20年前，严重的伤病让我离开了球场，这是很多篮球运动员不得不面对的残酷选择。但是我没有辜负过自己的职业生涯，我和队友和教练们一起努力过，我们赢得过奥运会和世锦赛的奖牌，我们付出的努力为自己的国家和球迷们创造了历史。今年4月1号，当我收到入选FIBA名人堂的邮件， 我还以为是朋友发来的愚人节的玩笑，因为退役20年，我似乎已经被遗忘了。没想到这是真的，真诚感谢 Fiba 依然记得我，记得我们这一代为世界篮球运动发展所做的贡献。Fiba 是世界篮球最权威的专业组织，有机会和世界篮球史上最优秀的名宿们一同入选 Fiba 名人堂，是所有篮球运动员一生最高的职业荣誉，更是一个经受过贫困和迷茫的农村女孩实现梦想的真实童话故事。虽然我目前唯一入选Fiba名人堂的中国球员，但是我知道还有很多非常优秀球员也曾经有过卓越的成就。这份历史性的荣誉应该和所有这些为篮球运动无私付出的同仁一同分享。这与金钱无关，而是我们彼生的心愿。我们的青春无愧于我们深爱的篮球，无愧于我们的国家。今天所有人都能清楚地认识到，因为新冠疫情的肆虐和其他各种各样的问题，这个世界正经历着前所未有的困难。面对这些困难，没有人能够置身事外，独善其身。就像篮球运动 DNA 一样，这个世界此时此刻最需要的是团队、信任、沟通、配合、纪律和责任。在比赛最困难的时刻，要坚持到最后的1秒哨响，才能赢得最终的胜利。我再次感谢 Fiba 的专业精神和给予我的荣誉。我希望通过 Fiba 向世界传递这样的信息：人类共同的对手是病毒，要像队友一样共同努力，消除猜忌和抱怨，相信我们一定会战胜对手。最后，我也想通过 Fiba 告诉那些喜欢篮球的孩子们，也许你现在正生活在世界某一个无人关注的角落，但是我们能听到篮球击打地面的声音，那种声音能让你的心跳得更加强大。一定要相信自己，为梦想付出努力。也许有一天，你的努力足以改变自己的生活，也能去帮助那些你爱的人和爱你的人。你甚至能改变这个世界，让这个世界更加美好。再次感谢大家，感谢我伟大的祖国，感谢中国篮球协会和我的家人，也请您继续关注中国篮球的发展。谢谢。
Thank you, Ms. Sheng, for those inspiring words. This almost completes the ceremony of the 2021 class of the FIBA Hall of Fame. But before we close, we invite FIBA Secretary General Andreas Zaglis for some closing remarks. Mr. Zaglis, please.
Thank you. Dear inductees, dear members of the Hall of Fame, this would normally be the moment that we would invite you on the stage to take the traditional photo with your peers, with the president and myself, to commemorate this big day. Still, through this virtual ceremony of the FIBA Hall of Fame, an idea conceived by the legendary coach and basketball historian Pedro Ferrandez and the late Secretary General Emeritus of FIBA, Borislav Stankovic. This day is the day that we commemorate your achievements and we honor you. And we could not but acknowledge still with a few words all of you that participate in this ceremony. Today, we have in front of us an incredible roster of players and coaches that have succeeded on the international stage. We have 12 different countries represented from all 5 regions of FIBA. We have 4 new countries: People's Republic of China, Germany, Senegal, and the Slovak Republic. We have 3 excellent coaches that have left their mark on their game. 6 World Cup podium finishes, 9 Olympic podium finishes, 23 Continental Cup medals, 75 National League titles, and no less than 12 international club competitions. And if you allow us a few individual remarks. To Matthew Faye, dear Matthew, there could not be a more fitting moment for African basketball to have its only 2nd inductee right after we finished our first season of the Basketball African League, and with the Youth Olympic Games coming soon in Senegal. Matthew, you showed in the 80s how African players have talent and can win titles internationally, and now the next generations follow in your footsteps. Ms. Horakova, being the MVP of a World Cup in your own country is an achievement that very few players can pride themselves of. My congratulations. Mr. Kropilak, together with your 3 Eurobasket medals, history books include your name in an honorable position, selected no less than 4 times in the European selection team of FIBA. Mr. Molia, we know already how proud Uruguay and the basketball community in your country is for the achievements of your father, a pioneer of our sport with his incredible scoring talent. Mr. Schrempf, you certainly gave a new meaning, or perhaps its original meaning, to the word international player in the NBA. But here, allow me to say, you're not the best 6th player. You are the very first ever player from Germany in the FIBA Hall of Fame. And you made it here having played for your national team on all levels, both in the youth competitions as well as in Eurobasket and 2 Olympic Games. To the daughter of Penka Stoyanova, together with the 100 years of basketball in Bulgaria that we celebrated last year, comes an honor that is so well deserved, with a tremendous record of 580 participations in the national team that shows a life devotion and dedication. Mr. Tarakonov, you were a key player of a national team that won it all: Olympics, World Cup, Eurobasket. This collection is extremely rare, and therefore it is as proud a moment for us as much as it is for you that you become a member of this selected club of players. Mr. Yanakis, Agapite Panayoti, your fearless approach on the court made your teammates and an entire country believe that Greece can beat any opponent. And you have won the respect of the global basketball community with an exemplary behavior over 2 decades, encapsulating all the virtues of what it means to be the national team captain. Ms. Sheng, first player from China, and in your person, FIBA recognizes the achievements of the first golden era of women's basketball in China. And I'm sure this is an excellent inspiration for an up-and-coming new generation of Chinese women national team players that is now preparing to reach the summit at the Tokyo Olympics, the Asia Cup, and next year, the Women's World Cup. Ms. Daly, I can tell you that the photo of your father was hanging in this building, the FIBA headquarters, also before this day that he became a member of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Just a few meters from here, where we stand, the wall of FIBA history included the picture of the Dream Team, the team coached by your father that changed our sport forever. Mr. Maher, Coach Maher, as you said, it is of course the Olympic medals and the World Cup medal that will never be forgotten, but leading 4 different national teams to the Olympics is a remarkable feat, and I cannot think of a better exhibition of how well accepted your coaching skills have been on the global stage. Mr. Messina, Direttore, your devotion in developing the skills of your players and creating winning teams is remarkable, whether on club basketball or with the national team, whether on this or on the other side of the Atlantic, your list of achievements is one of the longest out there, and certainly, if you allow me, with several lines still to be completed. Ladies and gentlemen, I can only say on behalf of the International Basketball Federation that FIBA and the Foundation will not only preserve, honor, but also promote your legacy so that the next generations can follow in your footsteps. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the enshrinement ceremony of the 2021 class of the Fiba Hall of Fame. On behalf of Fiba, we thank again all the inductees for making themselves available. We hope you enjoyed the ceremony, and we look forward to seeing you soon around the basketball courts of the world. Bye-bye, and enjoy the rest of the day wherever you are.